Great. Welcome to Digital Asset News. My name is Rob. We got a lot of things to go over, so let's just jump right in. And I'm going to talk to you about the CPI numbers, but I'm not going to bore you because everybody knows the numbers already, and you've already gotten your opinion. But I want you just to remember this one thing. Then we'll get into some what I consider this is one of the best news of all time. I mean, one of the big news, especially 2022, Charles Schwab and Fidelity getting into crypto. And you have to ask yourself the question: did these huge institutions with 20 plus trillion assets under management, did they get into the crypto space to lose a bunch of money? Probably not. And also we'll talk about Sweatcoin in the US. Sorry, Charlie. And lastly, we'll talk about KuCoin. Should we actually trust it? So the first things first, the CPI numbers, everybody knows what they are. I'm not going to bore you, but just to do a quick recap, this is from my man Neville. And he says, very simply, US CPI year over year, August 2021, 2022. Actual was 8.3 versus 8.5 previous, and estimation was 8.1. US CPI month over month, August actual 0.1 versus 0.0, previous -1. And then this is the big one, US core CPI, which is food and energy taken out of that equation. Year over year, August, actual 6.3 versus 5.9, previous estimate 6.1. So we were up a little bit. And US core CPI month over month, it was supposed to be 0.3, but went to 0.6. And of course, because of that, the market took a big dump. And that's in the traditional markets and the crypto markets. I know you guys know the prices because you probably checked your portfolio about 30 times already. So why am I going to bore you? However, if you want some in-depth reporting about what this actually went on, follow my man Ben over at Into the Cryptoverse. Benjamin Cohen, he had a great video. It's about it's 20 minutes long. Seemed like a bit faster. So if you want to just a light sharding of your pants, just watch that one. But if you want a heavy sharding, go watch my man Michael Cohen. That is dangerous stuff, what he talks about. Not dangerous, but man, that guy really lays it out about the worst case scenario. I linked both of them as a link in the description. I was kind of expecting the CPI numbers to be even Steven or a little bit high, and that's just how it goes. There's natural cycles, right? But the question I had was, what was the aftermath? Well, first things first, FTX froze for, I think, a couple hours or so under the strain of the CPI volatility. More than 110 million was liquidated across crypto exchanges in the hour, 1 hour, following the CPI print. And just to let everybody know, not to put FTX under the gun, FTX Sam Bankman-Fried confirmed that the exchange faced issues, stating that the website did wonky auto refreshing for a lot. The problem there was a freeze at 12:30 UTC time, and it was fixed roughly an hour, 13:25. So that's a lot of trading for FTX to take a little hiccup. That's big. And what they talked about as far as the people getting liquidated, that's the truth. Over here at CoinGlass.com, liquidation data, you can see that people who are like, we're going to the moon. This is the market, and it's going to keep going up. They got liquidated, 148 million as of right now. Shorts got liquidated a little bit, but not too much. 148 million. That's what's going on. And not to make fun of anybody. I mean, look, I don't know where things are going in the short term. In the long term, we'll get to that. But just something to keep in mind, and that is that the next couple of months and maybe 18 to 24 might be a little shaky. I'm just going to be honest with you. However, I need you to remember this one thing. That is, just because we go down and we have problems and we have high CPI numbers and we have terrible macro issues and we have issues with the housing market, energy, wars, everything that's going on to make the macro seem just purely awful. Remember, these are natural cycles. This too shall pass. And just like we see with the dates of the U.S. recession, I personally think we're in a recession right now, but people disagree with me. That's fine. I don't really care. I think if we're not in here now, we're going to go there sometime soon. Just remember that recessions don't last forever. I want you to look at the gaps in between. In between these recessions last about 18 to 24 months. But in between, you have an economic surplus. The golden ages, right? Even in the 70s, when everybody's talking about Volcker right now, and even early 80s, after that, it was smooth sailing, baby, until 1990. Of course, there's a little bit dump there. And then, of course, here we go, all the way through 10 more years and the dot-com crash. And then about, I don't know, what was that, 8 months? Then we had a 2001 all the way to 2008. That was a nice time. And then, of course, the housing market crash. Then we had 10 sweet years or more, 11. And here we are with the coronavirus. I don't know if you heard about that one, but a lot of things are going on, and then boodles reset. Maybe we have a couple of bad years. Here's the question I have to ask you. Are you okay with that? Are you okay with the price action going down? Are you okay with seeing your portfolio lose 20, 40, 50, 70%? Is that something that concerns you? If it does, there's options for you. I can't tell you what those are. I'm not an investment advisor. But for the ones that just look at this and go, okay, well, I think I know where we're going in the future. I think I know that if I stick around for a while, things will work out. Not on every crypto, not on every stock, not on every real estate investment I do. Obviously not, right? Nobody's perfect. But in the long run, if I stick around, usually things will work out okay. So these are the big questions that I ask, because when I look at these things, I was honestly hoping for a bigger dip. I know some of you hate to hear that, but that's just the truth. I was hoping for that, because I just think to myself, in 2 or 3 years, these prices are going to look like child's play. And that will lead me to my next point. Here's some good news. And when I read this, I want you to think to yourself about, do these people get in to lose money? Are they dumb money? Do they just like to throw away their cash? Maybe not. And maybe we're in the right place at the right time. So this just came up. Charles Schwab, Citadel, and Fidelity launch EDX crypto exchange. First of all, why is it such a big deal? Well, Charles Schwab is a little company with 8.14 trillion assets under management. Fidelity has 4.5 trillion assets under management. And they didn't mention this article because they're doing their own thing, but just remember that BlackRock also launched a private trust to give client exposure to spot Bitcoin on August 11th. And they also have around 8.5 trillion assets under management. Do you think that these people get in to give their clients really bad advice and have them lose a ton of money so they never come back? Or do you think they're getting in just at the right time when the market's taking a big dip? That's up for you to decide. But here's what's going on here. So, named EDX Markets, it will be a first of its kind exchange, giving investors safer, faster, more efficient crypto trading. Other backers include Citadel Securities. I think that's the one for Robinhood. Paradigm, Sequoia Capital, and Virtu Financial. The intention of the industry consortium is to build market infrastructure that contributes to increased optionality for liquidity to facilitate a more efficient, secure, and cost-effective process for trading digital assets. So says a Fidelity rep. And when I'm reading this, I'm like, the first sentence, it says right here, it will be a first of its kind exchange, giving investors safer, faster, more efficient crypto. I got to ask you the question. I don't know what the difference is besides deep pockets. I couldn't really find it in this article. Maybe someone can help me in the comment section. But this was concerning. Not concerning, but it made me think. The world of digital assets has long been thought to be complicated, with things like private keys and other things related to storage and custody, typically putting off the traditional investor. But EDX will serve both institutions and retail investors, giving them a safe entry point to crypto. So the question I have is this. Not really a question, just a thought process. That's probably what they're going to do. They're going to say, look, this is just too cumbersome for you to understand. You're just not too smart. You don't have enough time, institutional investors. Maybe they don't. We're going to handle all these things for you. Not your keys, not your crypto. It doesn't apply to you. You're special. We'll help you out. We'll do it. I got to tell you, about a year ago, I would have been like, that's great. Now that I've been in this space for quite some time and you have been here with me, you are not a tourist if you're here right now. You know all the different problems that we've had with the rug pulls and the scams and the illiquidity and the insolvency. And you know how dangerous it is when somebody else custodies your coins and has your keys. And I think for these new people that come out, it's important, it's imperative that we understand and we know that, and we can teach those people moving forward that, hey, this might not be your best option. We understand if you have like 3 jobs and 20 kids and it's just very difficult for you to do, that would be very tough. However, as time goes on, it doesn't take a lot of information to understand how to custody it for yourself, how to become your personal bank and do the things that can lead to safety instead of putting it into the hands of somebody else and God knows what they're going to do with it, as we've seen before. So these are the things that concern me. It's good news as far as adoption, but this last part just makes me wonder, and it makes me realize we got a lot of things to do. And that's it for that piece. Let me know what you think about that in the comments section. And I will just follow up with this as far as the bad news today, the market drop, the exceptional news that we just took a look at, and then the things that are going on. Now, there's all types of different YouTubers and people on Twitter and your newsletters that you read and magazines that you'll pick up as far as like what they are doing for investments. One of the things that you'll see, of course, is that there's a lot of people will say dollar cost average and buy forever, buy and hold and diamond hands to the moon. I think that is dumb. I don't think that's the right way to do things. For me, maybe for some people, they're like, hey, I'm just going to be here forever, and I'm going to give this crypto to my kids, and those kids will give them to their grandkids, and the grandkids will give them to the great-grandkids, and no one will cash out. We will just take loans against it or do whatever we do. Bitcoin will become the world's reserve currency next year or 10 years or 20 years or whatever else it is. I personally don't believe that. I believe that there's utility, but that utility hasn't been fleshed out perfectly yet. I think there's a lot of speculation. So when I take a look at these things, I'm thinking to myself, okay, what's a good time to accumulate? What's a good time to sell? Bitcoin rate price, all these indicators I'm talking about right now are looking to Bitcoin. I love that website because it's free and it's really high quality stuff. So we can just see, and it just gives you, it's like a logarithmic regression. You can see that right now, let me blow this up. Might be a good time historically to maybe think about accumulating. That's just one. Then we take a look at the MVRVZ score. The same thing. I like these charts. It makes it very simple for an ignoramus like myself, where you can take a look at, well, when it goes low, this might be a good chance to actually, accumulate those types of things. And then it goes into the other area. If we're going into the red, things are getting overheated. Maybe it's a good time to think about selling, when Bitcoin was at 58,000. And then from there, then we take a look at the NUPL, net unrealized profit loss, and all these things. There's always a description below about what these things are and how they actually work. Same thing. We're actually in the hope and fear stage. We're nowhere near the top, right? So maybe it's a good time to accumulate. And then we take a look at the Pi cycle top indicator, which has done a pretty fairly good job of calling the Bitcoin top retrospectively. It was created in 2019, I want to say. Yes. No, let me see. Yeah, April 2019 to be exact. And going back, it nailed 2017 and 13. This one had a double top. And then the last one, it was off by about 11%, which wasn't bad for the last one. So if we take a look at all these things, again, times to accumulate, there's also times to sell. And I'm going to get a lot better at that. I did a lot better job in 2021 than I did in 2018. I can tell you that right now. But there's one thing I still need to do. I did a video, my exit strategy, which we'll talk about. And I talked about there were some cycle top callers, Pi cycle top, and UPL time and risk over at Ben's website. There's some bottom callers. And just things to look at. I'm going to be putting out a video in the next 2 weeks or so, because it's been requested, about taking profits. And there's all different types of traders. You've got scalpers, you've got day traders, you've got long-term holders, buys and sells, and all different types of people. Me personally, I'm here for a longer haul, but at some point, I will be selling. And I'm going to talk to you exactly when it is. I'm going to tell you the exact, not the time period, but the things that I'm looking for, because once that hits, 40% of my entire crypto portfolio, I will sell. And that's what I got. That wasn't a very popular opinion, because people say you shouldn't sell crypto ever. I say, why not? Especially to have dry powder on the side. And it really helps right now, because I did that in 2021, that I bought other assets. I bought real estate. I bought land. I rolled into my Amazon business. And those types of things that I'm able to do, and also cash, those types of things I'm able to do, it allows me to breathe easy on nights like this, or days like this, when I wake up and go, wow, we just took a 10% hit or whatever else it is. It's a good thing I've diversified just a little bit. Anyhow, let me just think about that in the comments section. That'll be spicy. And then lastly, Sweatcoin in the US, and sorry, Charlie. So as you know, on this channel, I've been talking a lot about Sweatcoin. Just launched yesterday, and they're pretty good. I mean, there was a fair launch. I got into the private round. So everybody knows I got in the private round. They didn't pay me, I paid them. and I bought it for 0.01. What did I buy? 0.01429. So a penny and a half, essentially. But when they launched, it launched on these exchanges, FTX, OKX, and a bunch of different ones at 0.006. So it was below what I got for it. So there's some pretty happy people, and it doesn't reflect here on CoinGecko, but that's what they launched it at, as far as I understand. But went up to today, hit 7 cents. That's pretty good. I mean, honestly, if you think about it, there's always a bull run somewhere. And where I put it for markets in one day, these were all the listings. MEXC, I don't know what that is. OKX, and it just launched today on DEXs. So if you're an American, not a bad choice. Uniswap, KuCoin, which if you're an American, I use KuCoin. Gate.io, I don't use that. Bybit, I don't use that. FTX, I use. Bitcoin, I don't know what that is. Uniswap, LBank, Bitfinex, big one, big one. And then Ref Finance, and also Swissborg, just listed this morning. That's a pretty good, solid listings in one day of exchanges. And of course, we talked about this, the top global crypto exchanges. I didn't know OKX was that big, 25 billion. Bybit, 13 billion. FTX, 15 billion. That's in 24 hours. What else? Uniswap, 1.3. So the only one that hasn't listed yet is Binance, but I hear rumors that might be coming. But there was a question. Not this. I'll get to that. Sonny Soprano. It's pretty funny. So he states, as a user in the US, what can we do at News Asset? It seems I can't transfer the coins or download the wallet. And we talked about this yesterday, but I want to make this crystal clear that for US residents like myself, you may have been accumulating Sweatcoin, but you can't get the crypto wallet yet. And we did a deep dive, and I had Oleg and Ophir on the Dan Degen channel, and what he answered that question specifically about U.S. residents. He goes, "Look, we're not going to do it now yet because we don't want to deal with the securities issues because of your guy Gary Gensler. He is my guy. I like Gary. He watches the show, and we just talked about it at length. And just know that no, you cannot transfer your Sweatcoin into the crypto Sweat. You can buy Sweatcoin on a bunch of different exchanges, but that's going to come later. And what I did was I added in timestamps for all the questions that I asked him, and there were some big ones about does Sweatcoin use user data? Do you guys harvest that and sell it? How are you guys avoiding sweat theft as far as movement validators? Additional revenue generation, and then the big one is at 3210. Why not the U.S.? And Oleg answered that's pretty good. So that takes care of that piece. Let me just think about the comment section. And then lastly, KuCoin. Should we trust it? And the reason, so I have, there's a link in the description. These are the 4 exchanges that I use: FTX, Kraken, Coinbase, and KuCoin. Why? Because I'm an American and I have limited options because of Gary, who watches the show. And of course, below me, you can see the rules. The rules are, it's all gone. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose. Everything's a scam until proven otherwise. Don't leave anything on exchanges. Nothing, as much as you possibly can. There's some caveats, I understand. But I think we've learned our lesson, right? So see his Voyager. And don't use leverage. That's a quick trip to lose everything and then take profits along the way. Nobody ever went broke taking profits. So knowing all these things, I use these various exchanges for different reasons. Coinbase, because it's super easy, dollar cost average. Kraken, because I like their mission and they have low fees. FTX has some of the lowest fees out there. And also on Coinbase, you can use advanced trade if you really want to really get some low fees. And KuCoin, I use this to get to the coins that I cannot get anywhere else. They have a ton of them. And what I did was I reached out to KuCoin because I know these guys. I know Coinbase, I know Jesse and Powell and Sam Bankman-Fried and Brian. I mean, I don't know him personally, but I've been with him for a while. But KuCoin, not so much. I didn't really know much about it. So I reached out to him. I go, hey, can you guys come on the show just to alleviate I have some questions for you. And they're very basic, which is, how'd you guys start? What's going on over there? And why should we trust you? What's the security? Because there's a lot of things going on. And they said, yes. And they thought it was actually odd because nobody from America reached out to him. So I'm like, well, I should be that guy. So Vanessa Fung came in, and she's, I forget her official title, I'm sorry, but head of investments, or part of that group over there at KuCoin. And she answered all my questions Great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this recorded video, and you make the decision if you want to use KuCoin. It's up to you. I use it, but that doesn't mean you should. So just take a listen. Everybody, so as promised, what I want to do was just bring in somebody who could give us a little bit more information about KuCoin, because these days with centralized exchanges, we want to make sure we know who we're dealing with. So first of all, Vanessa, thanks so much for stopping by. We appreciate it.
Hi everyone.
So Vanessa, I got 3 quick questions for you. Very simple. First one is the KuCoin background. Just give us a little history and what's been going on kind of behind the scenes with KuCoin. How did everything get started? Just a basic overview. The next one is, and I think this is a big question, how does KuCoin guarantee safety and security? We've got a lot of different problems with hacks. Now, these are different things like for different projects, but as far as like the exchange itself, we've had a lot of problems recently with centralized parts, and those would be like a Celsius and Voyager and things like that. But how do you guys deal with that with as far as security and safety? And then lastly, why should we use KuCoin? So Vanessa, first question. Give us a little background about KuCoin itself.
Sure. So the whole journey of KuCoin of these years is absolutely an amazing stories. And actually behind KuCoin, there are 2 tech geeks who were early blockchain adopters, having started coding when they were 8 and found their startup when they were 16. So one of our founders actually, he immediately started to mine BTC, Bitcoin. He heard about Bitcoin from his boss in 2012. But when he tried to sell some of his Bitcoin on MineGox back in those days, which is a pretty large exchange back in the days.
Back then,
he realized that so-called the world's largest platform at that time was quite difficult for beginner to use. So as going on, the adoption of blockchain continue, our founders realized that the financial system is actually reshaping to something that would not only serve the wealthy people, but everyone, really literally everyone in the world. So even I would say maybe some people, they are not well educated or unemployed, but they're still knowing how to doing investment right now. So in August 2017, KuCoin 1.0 went live, and starting with a people's exchange that would allow everyone to get involved with crypto. So KuCoin global registered user exists 1 million at the end of 2018 and after a few months, then we raised 20 million in Series A funding from IDG and Matrix. So which accelerated KuCoin's rapid growth, I would say. And in 2022, which is this year, KuCoin achieved a number of milestones actually. Like we've secured 150 million pre-Series B fundraising, which led by Jump Crypto, and KuCoin's accumulated trading volume exceeds 2 trillion this year. And our global users has been over 20 million in July this year.
That's interesting. Yeah, thanks for the background. I find it fascinating that one of the founders, the reason why he started up KuCoin was because there was an issue with Mt. Gox and about how difficult it was actually to use. So I can understand that. It's the same thing with Blockbuster, matter of fact. The person that started up Netflix, the whole reason why they started up Blockbuster is because they were so disgruntled with all the different fees for returns. So they made Netflix. 3 or 4 or 5 years later, they went to go sell it back to Blockbuster, and they said, no, we don't need that. And of course, the rest is history. So that would lead me to my next question, Vanessa. How does KuCoin guarantee safety and security? Because there's a lot of, I mean, you just talked about 2 trillion of transactions. That's a lot of things that are going on. I personally use KuCoin when I can't find those specific cryptos and the limited exchanges that I use. So how do you guys guarantee safety and security?
Well, this is very good questions. As one of the most well-known exchanges in the world, KuCoin makes every effort to ensure that comprehensive security measures are set up to assist you in daily use and ensure the security of your account, for sure. A robust security system is crucial. So we've been keep focusing on the construction of a global security expert team. And the continuous use to optimization of the system, so as to bring everyone the ultimate security experience to our users. So for the security details, I would say a little bit more. We have developed a new security system from scratch, stemming from the following three aspects, I would say. First, the overall security system. Second, the network security architecture. And the third one, which is the security team, our security team, I would say. So KubeCon has a very strong risk control system to the web, the app, the API access mechanisms to ensure the safety of users' account and access. So, and we also deploy cybersecurity measures in strict accordance with financial level security compliance requirement. And we also deploy the KubeCon Security Elite Team and establish close cooperation with well-known cybersecurity and anti-APT agency.
Okay, sounds good. So then the last one then would be this. Why should we use KuCoin? I mean, for me, I have my reasons why I use KuCoins because I can't find it on the other three. If I can't find it on FTX or Coinbase or Kraken, which is the only ones I can really use as a U.S. citizen, maybe Gemini. So then I have to turn to KuCoin to find those hidden gems. But what would be a good reason for just the average person to say, why should I use KuCoin?
To be honest, everybody knows that KuCoin is the home of hidden gems and to be the top one altcoin exchange. So this is indeed one of the top advantages. So besides this, there are actually many other unique things to say, which I would say here in KuCoin, users can enjoy one of the lowest trading fee in this industry. The trading fees on KuCoin are actually starting at 0.1%. For both maker and taker. In addition, if you use our coin KCS to pay for trading fees, you're entitled to a 20% discount off. So for KuCoin VIPs, the lowest trading fee discount can be like minus 0.5 bips for maker and 2 bips for taker. And so KuCoin is one of the exchanges that provide extremely all-around products to meet the requirements of all classes of users. And credited with the name of People's Exchange by our global users. Currently, we provide spot trading, margin trading, P2P fiat trading, futures trading, staking, lending, trading bots, NFT markets, and NFT ETF. I mean, it's so different, so many classified products that we have. And KuCoin Wallet as well. We do have and fiat trading pairs service to our 20 million users in 207 countries and regions. And KuCoin is one of the pioneers among centralized exchange to explore Web3 as well in a really deep way. Okay. So this year, 2022, we have achieved a lot in this field, I would say. In April, with the launching of KuCoin NFT Marketplace, which called Winmate, together with KuCoin Ventures, 100 million creators fund was launched to empower Web3 universe by supporting and incubating the early stage of NFT projects. And this April, KuCoin officially launched our decentralized crypto wallet to offer our users who use Web3 service. And actually, we have a really abundant project line in the NFT field recently. And KuCoin Wonderland that you just mentioned is an interactive NFT launch platform designed by KuCoin for crypto and traditional games. It allows users to enjoy a seamless and centralized experience to buy, to invest, to manage their in-game NFT.
Sounds good. That's a lot of things. I didn't know you guys actually were doing that much stuff. So, all right. Well, Vanessa, thanks. That's a lot to digest. So for everybody watching home, you can find, there's a link in the description and it'll take you to the website. It looks just like this for all the exchanges that I personally use, FTX, Kraken, Coinbase, and of course, KuCoin, some of the things that Vanessa was talking about. And then for any other types of information, you can also find that in the description below. But that is it. So Vanessa, Thanks so much for stopping by. We all appreciate it.
Thank you, Bob.
All right, let's jump back. Great. So I know a little bit long, but I want to say again, thanks to Vanessa Fung and the KuCoin team for coming on, explaining why it's a possibility to use KuCoin, what they're all about, and how they're taking safety a little bit more seriously. And also, just so you know, that link to the exchanges, those are all affiliate links. Just so you know. So if you sign up, you get some kind of bonus. I get a bonus. But if you don't want to use that, that's okay. Just go right to KuCoin.com. They'll sign you up, and that'll be that. So that takes care of everything for today. So I want to say thanks for sticking around. 30 minutes, about 1,000 people. Can't beat that. And there's a lot of things in the comment section I need to go over. So if you are so inclined and would like to, now that concludes everything for the news. Now we're going to jump into the Q&A part. If you got to take off, get out of here. I appreciate you stopping by. I really do. But now let's jump into a little Q&A, and I'll answer all your burning questions to the best of my abilities right now. So a little Q&A. Oh, man, it's a lot. So, Tom, Voyager. So Voyager